I'd like to introduce our Chief Product Officer, Shravan Goli, and his leadership team, who will share recent product innovations. Some of them are being unveiled for the first time today. They're going to demonstrate how you can leverage the power of the Coursera platform to improve and accelerate teaching and learning at your institution. Shravan?
Thank you, Betty. I'm Shravan Goli, Chief Product Officer here at Coursera. Earlier today, we heard from our CEO, Jeff, about the amazing work you're doing leveraging the Coursera platform, creating great collaborative opportunities and impacting learners at scale globally. And not just at the university level, but communities and entire countries around the world. So with me today, I have Emily Sands, who's our VP of Data Science, Ken Sun, who's Director of Product Management, and Namit Yadav, who leads RIME. We will be walking you through major product highlights from the past year and a preview of what's coming this year. So COVID-19 has impacted every individual in this world. And as a product leader, I'm always trying to put myself in the customer's shoes. So I asked myself what my day in the life has been like. So these days in the morning, after we wake up, we're still scrambling to get ready. Although not to rush out of the house, but to get into our makeshift caves to go online. My wife and I work remotely. My daughter gets live online school. And while my son gets pre-recorded videos. I also have old parents at home. So I'm worried about their safety as well. Now, the rest of the day, it's like hair on fire, back-to-back Zoom meetings. And in between, checking on my son as I'm worried about what he is actually doing with his computer. It's like leaving a rat in the hands of a cat to be taken care of. Now, millions of others are facing similar situations. And on Coursera, we've noticed that people are turning to science of well-being for personal health, which was the most popular course in March with over 3,500% increase in enrollments in March compared to prior months. We feel extremely humbled and honored to be at Coursera, working with amazing partners who are here today to help the world to continue their learning. And as you heard from Jeff, the world needs us more than ever before today. And over the last year, our reach has increased to over 56 million learners globally, and they've consumed over 93 million learning hours during that time. And in the last month alone, we've added over 5 million registrants with a massive surge in the demand for online learning. We attract learners from a variety of professional backgrounds, and in particular, business and technology. So for example, engineers, project managers, sales professionals, and executives. So however, we've seen a significant increase in the number of students, teachers, and medical professionals post-COVID-19. And among these learners, we continue to see the greatest demand is for digital transformation. So the top domains are business, data, and technology. However, over the past 30 days, we're seeing that the learners are finding sanctuary in personal development and health content. For example, personal development went up by 1,500% month over month, and health content went up by 300% month over month in March compared to February. Let me turn to product highlights now. So as Jeff said earlier, Coursera offers a platform for global learning, which connects this ecosystem of learners, educators, and employers. From a product perspective, we often like to start with this question: who is the customer? What are their goals? What are their biggest challenges? And how is their world changing? And how do we adapt our products to evolve with those emerging needs? And so for learners, they're facing a world with high unemployment rate. And our goal is to broaden the access and enable them to develop and showcase job relevant skills that will be in demand post-COVID-19. For educators, what started as a short-term response to the crisis to move online overnight, our goal is to enable them to move towards an enduring online must digital transformation of higher education. For employers, both businesses and governments, our goal is to enable their employees and citizens to develop digital transformation skills that will be needed post-COVID-19 as well. And now I'm going to turn to Emily Sands, who will update us on learner product highlights.
Thanks so much, Shravan, and good morning to all of you. I'm Emily, and I lead the data science team here at Coursera. You've heard how individuals around the globe are turning to Coursera and our partners now more than ever. They come to the platform to develop the skills they need to provide for their families, to be productive for their companies, and to give back to their communities. Our learner-facing product innovations center around meeting three core needs for these learners. The first is discover, supporting each in finding the best learning program from courses to degrees, given where she is, who she aspires to be, and the skills to close the gap. The second is learn, making sure each can succeed throughout her learning journey, empowered by behavioral and pedagogical support tailored to her situation. And the third is showcase and advance, connecting learning to job outcomes through a skills-based currency that is earned as you learn. The scale of Coursera and the rich data collected as tens of millions of learners and thousands of instructors engage on the platform allow us to develop automated and highly personalized solutions in each of these areas. I'm delighted to have the opportunity today to share with you some of our recent innovations, starting with discovery. Our flexible browse functionality is designed to guide the learner's early exploration. The dynamic mega menu, for example, showcases the breadth of domains in the catalog, highlights the most popular searches for quick discovery, and surfaces degree and certificate programs the learner's likely to be interested in. While the scale and heterogeneity of both learners and content on the platform create an inherent challenge for discovery, these challenges become opportunities through data. For example, our learner product interest models determine what degrees each user sees in Browse, how degrees are ranked in her mega menu, and more. These algorithms are built on a deep understanding of learners, from self-reported features like work and education history, to behavioral features like how the learner found Coursera, what she searched for and enrolled in, and how she's progressed through her learning experiences to date. Combined with metadata on each degree and using as training data the conversion behavior of the millions of other learners who've been exposed to degrees on Coursera in the past, we estimate each learner's interest in each program. Relative to our initial rules-based system, this machine-learned personalization is yielding a 40% boost in degree applications through Browse. This year, we also evolved our search engine across courses, projects, specializations, master tracks, and degrees to a relevancy-based algorithm, ranking according to what learners searching for that term ultimately went on to enroll in, pay for, and apply to. This enables learners to find the right content from among the vast selection on Coursera faster, powered by the search and downstream behavior of the tens of millions who came before. A learner's interests, goals, and preferences are reflected subtly through Browse and Search, and now also front and center in the new logged-in homepage. Here, the learner can tell us more about herself and get increasingly personalized recommendations surfaced in collections and in promo units, including recommendations that update in real time based on what she says and what she does. Thanks in large part to thoughtful personalization across channels, in the past year, we've increased by 75% the rate at which registrants go on to matriculate in degrees, while in tandem delivering strong growth across courses and specializations. We hear time and again from learners a strong desire for learning to be explicitly tied to skill development and career opportunities. So 2 years ago, we announced Coursera's Skills Graph, a foundational data asset that uses machine learning to map a robust library of skills to each other, to the content that teaches them, to the careers that require them, and to the learners who have or want to have them. Later this quarter, we'll be releasing a new application of Skills Graph called Skills Tracking. With skill tracking, the learner can select a target role, see what skills are required, up to what proficiency. This role skill profile is derived empirically from the demonstrated skill proficiency of Coursera learners already in that position. She can click through to explore a particular skill, find her current proficiency relative to target, and discover personalized recommendations to close the gap. Once a learner finds the right content, be it through Browse, Search, or her logged-in homepage or skills-based discovery, we turn to helping her succeed in the learning experience. Last year, we shared our in-course help system, which serves personalized learning interventions designed to support students throughout their learning journey. Since different learners benefit from different interventions, an explore-exploit machine learning system tailors each individual's experience. This intervention system, which spans on-platform and email nudges, is driving a 12% increase in item completions. Today, I want to share two core innovations on top. The first is our new goal-setting framework. Numerous studies show that commitment mechanisms, creating a goal or making a plan, help individuals turn ambitions into reality. And from the learning data on Coursera, we see the importance of consistency. Learners who are active multiple days in the first week, for example, are twice as likely to stick through to complete. Based on these learnings, we focus goal setting on driving learners towards a regular study schedule, asking how many days per week she wants to study, and using the power of default to induce adoption. We offer to add the study schedule to her online calendar, and as she's moving through, we reinforce positive study habits and remind her of her goal. This goal setting framework is driving a 2.5% increase in module completions, which at the scale of learning happening on Coursera translates to more than 12 years of additional learning every single day. The second learning innovation expands the automated support we provide struggling learners. Failing a quiz, even if you can reattempt it, is a difficult moment, one at which we see many learners take a break from their course, some never to return. To help, we built a system that serves hyper-targeted review material based on the individual questions the learner is struggling with. The feature was inspired by some outstanding instructors who proactively added helpful review links to individual questions in their courses. Of the more than 300,000 questions on the platform, about 5% were tagged with review material by these instructors. Learners loved the support, so we decided to emulate this across as many courses and questions as possible. To do so, we built an algorithm trained on the existing expert tags, predicting the best lecture video to review for questions that haven't yet been tagged. The model relies on two key types of features. The first is how semantically similar any lecture video is to the assessment question, using methods from natural language processing. And the second is learner behavioral data, like the share of learners who failed that assessment question and then reviewed that lecture, who ultimately went on to pass. The algorithm increases the share of questions on the platform tagged with high fidelity best lectures to review from 5% to 60%, in turn helping more learners get unblocked. For each of the failed assessment questions where we display a lecture video, we also ask, was this material helpful? This provides a feedback loop to adjust our predictions so the quality of recommended review material can constantly improve. As of today, more than 3/4 of learners find the review material shown to be helpful. Finally, we know learners are super motivated by tracking their progress, especially relative to skill and career goals set by them or by their employer. Now in real time, as learners take assessments, they can track their skill scores and even progress against their target career. This is powered under the hood by algorithmic skill scoring, another application of our skills graph. With that overview of some of our innovations to help learners discover, learn, and showcase in advance, let me hand it off to Ken Sun to cover how we're helping educators deliver world-class learning and credentials at scale.
Thank you, Emily. Good morning, everyone. I'm Ken, and I lead our learner experience and content platform teams. As Jeff mentioned in his keynote, over 1.6 billion students around the world, including 300 million in higher ed, have shifted to online learning literally overnight. The faculty and staff are rising to meet the challenge and move their on-campus courses to an online format. And what started as a response to this crisis is now being seen as an acceleration in the transformation of higher education. As we talked to educators, 3 key needs stood out. First, they urgently need to shift to online. Second, they're looking for high-quality digital content to supplement their curriculum. And finally, they need the tools to support their students with online learning. Our vision is to enable educators to teach the world by helping them recruit students, produce and teach their content, and scale efficiently to millions of learners. And as part of our Corona Response Initiative, we've prioritized responding to the rapidly emerging needs of educators beyond our partners. Our first response initiative is Coursera for Campus to help any college or university impacted by coronavirus. Coursera for Campus enables instructors to rapidly transition their classes online and supplement their course by selecting existing high-quality content from video lectures to labs to quizzes from a broad swath of our extensive catalog. The uptake among colleges and universities has been incredible, but because of our extensive catalog, many of them asked us for a solution to help them identify courses. So we quickly developed Course Match, a natural language processing system that can scan a school's on-campus course catalog and match each course to the most relevant one on Coursera. We've already matched more than 2.6 million on-campus courses from 1,800 universities and colleges and accelerated the launch of over 5,600 learning programs. But supplementing your course with content from our catalog is just the start. Ultimately, we want to empower Coursera for Campus instructors to create their own incredible courses and teach their students using their own syllabus and create their own lecture videos, readings, and assignments. We have a long history with our 200 partners that have created over 4,200 courses on our platform, and we want to make Coursera even better for all the courses you create. And so today, I'm excited to share with you some powerful new capabilities we're building to accelerate content creation. First up is Cloud Asset Import. A task that takes course development teams a lot of time on is transferring video files and other large assets. They have to download these assets to their laptop and then re-upload them to Coursera while monitoring them for any failures. And it's an inefficient use of their time. So last week, we launched the ability to directly import assets from your cloud storage service to Coursera. It works seamlessly with popular services such as Google Drive, OneDrive, and Dropbox. Just point Coursera to the assets in your cloud and will automatically import the files you select into your asset library in one easy step. Next up is assessment import. Course development teams also spend a lot of time authoring assessment in Google and Microsoft's apps because they're great for creating content and team collaboration. But after completing the assessment, someone has to copy and paste the assessment into Coursera's authoring tool. Oops. This is time-consuming, introduces the possibility of error, and sometimes the formatting would be lost. So this year, we're going to eliminate the copy and paste step. Just follow our document formatting guidelines, and assessment import will read your document and directly create the assessment in your course with all of your questions, answers, and feedback text. So with all this extra efficiency, the course development teams will have more time to use our next feature, which is question banks. Now, course development teams can keep a high level of academic integrity by easily importing and managing large sets of questions and answers. They'll also be able to tag questions with learning objectives and difficulty, allowing them to tightly control which questions are linked to specific assignments. Look for question bank support in staff-graded assessments with auto-graded questions later this year. So that's cloud import, assessment import, and question banks. All great capabilities for helping our partners accelerate content creation. Now, let's turn our attention to new innovations that will help your courses scale. Producing and teaching a course these days needs a large, multifunctional team. And as those teams scale up, partners need to ensure that everyone has the correct rights and access so student privacy and academic integrity aren't compromised. Every institution has its own set of policies about what privileges staff can have. So we've introduced custom roles to allow our system to be more flexible. You can start with our standard roles to get up and running quickly, and then easily create new roles with custom permissions that precisely match your policies, ensuring everyone has the right level of access. That's custom roles. Now let's look at how we're helping scale student support. We've been amazed to see how large some of our degree partners have scaled their programs. For example, the University of London's Bachelor of Computer Science program is projected to hit 2,000 students enrolled later this month. That's a tremendous amount of growth since last year. To help them and other partners scale, we developed machine learning powered dashboards that help their staff focus their attention on the students who could benefit the most. Our degree partners responded positively to our first dashboard last year, the program level student success dashboard that predicts which students are most at risk based on a predicted grade. But not all staff can access the program level dashboard because of PII and FERPA data protection rules, and this limited their ability to help their students. So last month, we launched a course level version to give the same insights and predictions to core staff. This new dashboard features the same risk tiers and insights as the program level dashboard and is updated on a daily basis. And now it uses an even more accurate system for predicting a student's grade. We're thrilled that this new ML-powered dashboard will help more core staff with student success. Now, I'm going to talk about Coursera's APIs. Data is critical to scaling many of the operational workflows, both at our partners and here at Coursera. Our API started back in 2014 with our research API for partners who wanted to research how effective MOOCs were. Then we introduced Data Hub, which let us exchange flat files with degree partners to exchange enrollment and grading data. And as we grew our enterprise business, we introduced several APIs to automate the management of employee learning programs. Now, this year, we're introducing some great new APIs that will streamline mission-critical flows for our degree, master track, and enterprise partners. When it comes to accepting applicants, enrolling them, and changing or releasing grades, there are always last-minute changes that need to be accommodated. With our new degree APIs, all these changes can be automated in near real time and ensure that your student information system and Coursera remain in sync. For our enterprise partners, our new APIs will aggregate data on employee learning activity and skill development, giving organizations better insight into their talent development pipeline. Ultimately, the beneficiary of these new APIs isn't just the operational teams, but the students. And I couldn't say it any better than this quote from Al Huertas at CU Boulder. Al's team is testing the new enrollments API, which was released last quarter, and we're really excited to have them launch with it next month. That's APIs. Now let's talk about one of Coursera's earliest innovations, peer review. Peer review let us scale MOOCs that needed human grading by using multiple peer learners to perform the task. And we've made a lot of refinements to peer review over the years. And now I want to share with you our most groundbreaking improvement ever. Machine-assisted peer review. This feature will automatically assess peer review submissions and grade them instantly and accurately. Our team estimates that we can process up to 48% of the 1.9 million unstructured text submissions made each year in our MOOCs. Not only is this a faster and better experience for learners, but it also frees up the limited number of peer reviewers and focuses them on submissions where their human judgment is still better at providing an accurate grade. Our system uses a machine learning model that uses natural language processing on a training data set based on previously peer-graded submissions. Using this data set, we can determine if a new submission is semantically similar to previous submissions that passed or failed, and then automatically grade the new submission. And this is just the start. We're researching on how to apply similar approaches to staff-graded assessments to increase TA grading efficiency in online degrees. We think machine-assisted peer review is a game-changing innovation, and we can't wait to launch it later this year. So that wraps up how we're helping educators respond, produce and teach, and scale. Now I'm going to hand it over to Namit, who's going to talk about some equally great innovations in hands-on learning.
Thank you, Ken, and hello, everyone. Last year, we announced Coursera Labs at the conference. Since then, we have made a lot of progress. We even acquired a company. And now we are happy to announce that Coursera Labs is generally available to provide a variety of hands-on learning experiences to learners. As we all know, we are in the era of rapid digital transformation. In this era, learners need to quickly prepare themselves for the new jobs of today and tomorrow. And COVID-19 has only accelerated this need to get prepared for jobs quickly. Hands-on learning allows learners to prepare for these new jobs at a faster pace, because learners get to practice their skills. And Coursera Labs makes it easy for you to provide hands-on learning to learners. We host and manage the entire infrastructure, so you don't have to worry about managing resources or their costs or handling any technical support. Coursera Labs provides hands-on learning experiences using real-world tools to teach practical skills. These hands-on learning experiences can be hands-on assignments, and through the acquisition of Rhyme, guided projects, and live projects. All of these experiences are delivered from a web browser, so learners do not need to install or configure anything on their own computers. Now let's look at the first two of these experiences today, hands-on assignments and guided projects. Hands-on assignments can be added to your existing or future courses as in-course items. They can be based on industry standard tools like Jupyter Notebooks, Visual Studio Code, RStudio, or they can be completely custom web apps that you built from scratch for learners. To learn more about hands-on assignments, let's hear from Chris Brooks. Chris has been piloting Coursera Labs hosted Jupyter Notebooks in his courses like Introduction to Data Science and Python.
Hi, I'm Chris Brooks, faculty at the University of Michigan School of Information. I teach data science courses in our residential undergraduate program and have launched several MOOCs on the Coursera platform. In the fall of 2019, we launched our first online degree on Coursera, a Master of Applied Data Science. I wanted to talk about how Coursera Labs helped us from the viewpoints of three different stakeholders: the students, the faculty, and the institution. So first, the student perspective. We launched a degree with nearly 200 students in the first cohort, so we needed them to be able to jump into hands-on practice from the same learning environment that the program uses. Coursera Labs allows us to provide this. Learners simply click a link and a new window opens with a pre-configured environment based on the needs of the course. There's no additional login needed, and the students don't have to worry about their computer specs, for instance, whether they have enough CPU or GPU power for a deep learning course. Importantly, all of the software packages that they need and the versions of those packages, which are synced with our lectures, are provided right out of the box. So let's talk about the faculty perspective. In our online degree, the Coursera Labs environment is available from day one of the course in the way in which it was tested by the instructor. What this has meant for me as a faculty member is that I can spend time during the semester helping explain concepts and give clarifications to the material instead of having to worry about system or configuration problems. So finally, the institutional perspective. Unlike traditional on-campus labs, partnering with Coursera meant that we had to add no extra DevOps capacity on our side. In fact, we don't use any in-house DevOps. All of the running of compute instances to support the students, scaling the system to meet capacity demands, or technical support issues are handled by Coursera. This significantly reduces the staffing costs of our program. So that's a brief overview of how Coursera Labs has worked for us at Michigan with our applied data science degree. Coursera Labs has been easy to get started with, and all of us at Michigan are happy to share with you our experiences and knowledge using this new part of the platform.
Thank you, Chris. We've also been developing solutions to automatically grade these hands-on assignment submissions. These autograders can use simple numerical or regex-based matching rules, or they can be fully custom grading solutions. And today we are happy to announce built-in NB graders for Jupyter Notebooks. Now you can write test cases directly from the Jupyter Notebook UI without wasting time in configuring environments, creating Docker images, etc., saving you a tremendous amount of time. Now let's look at another hands-on learning experience, guided projects, which are enabled through our RIME acquisition. Here, learners acquire practical skills by working on real-world projects using real-world software tools. In guided projects, a side-by-side interface allows learners to watch the visual instructions on one side of the screen while following along on the other side of the screen. These projects are very short, usually less than 60 minutes, have all the software and data pre-installed and configured for the learners, and they help the learners create tangible outputs at the end of the projects. Now we know that some of the real-world problems that learners want to learn to solve, those problems are very custom to their employers, processes, tools, or data. Coursera Labs lets our enterprise customers supplement or customize learning for their employees by having their own subject matter experts develop their own private projects. These private projects help customers develop institutional knowledge, and this knowledge is easily transferable due to the hands-on nature of these projects. As an example, our CEO, Jeff, recently created a private project on how Coursera employees should think about their own OKRs at Coursera. His visual instructions in this case were not about how to use the software. In his instructions, Jeff showed us his own objectives and key results and guided us about how we should think about our own objectives and key results. As you can see, these guided projects can not only help data science and computer science students, they can help business students apply skills in a variety of domains, like sales using CRM tools, financial analysis using Excel, etc. But these projects can go even beyond that. Vic Stretcher, a professor of behavioral science at the University of Michigan, he's creating a live project on life on purpose. This project helps a learner take the initial steps to having a more purpose-driven life. In this project, learners watch Vic's visual guidance on right side of the screen and about how to think about their own life's purposes as they follow along in a purpose development software on the left side of the screen. The early response from learners is very encouraging. Guided projects are getting dramatic growth in enrollments from learners, validating that learners urgently need hands-on project-based learning using real-world tools. This need and the need to do hands-on assignments is only accelerated by COVID-19. As students no longer have access to on-campus computer labs, the virtual labs provided by Coursera Labs become the alternatives that help students accelerate the benefits of hands-on learning. Hands-on learning allows learners to practice through application. Through hands-on assignments and guided projects on Coursera Labs, learners will accelerate their learning and gain skills needed for the jobs of today and tomorrow. Speaking of jobs, I'm now going to hand it over to Shravan, who will be discussing some of the innovations in our enterprise solutions.
Thank you, Namit. I'm now going to give a very quick update on what we're doing for employers. So for employers, businesses, and governments, Coursera platform will enable them to plan, develop, and hire. So planning empowers companies with actionable insights on skill trends and how their organization compares to the industry and what the companies need to do to transform talent. Developing is about helping ensure that the learners are making progress in line with the company's skills objectives. And then hiring would be by unlocking the internal mobility of talent as learners develop those skills. So Jeff talked about how we're helping companies plan for their talent's future, identifying skill development goals and the learning paths to get there. So first was essential skills maps, which reveal the most critical skills for each function by domain. So for example, you can see here what business, technology, and data skills are important for engineering and other functions. Second is essential skills collections. They map those skills to content on the Coursera platform. So for example, you can see the collections of courses that teach business, technology, and data skills for engineering teams. And then third, extending this notion to academies, which basically expand the idea to goal-based learning programs. And they're tied to specific roles and skills in the organization. There are three main use cases. So for example, with the Data Science Academy here, number one, literacy. Everyone in the organization can learn basic data skills. Second is upskilling. So example, from becoming a marketer to a data-driven marketer. And then third is reskilling if you're a Java developer to become a data scientist. Now, once you have these learning programs, companies can then deploy these skill development programs to their employees alongside the corresponding recommendations. Here's an example that shows what skills and at what proficiency level are needed for becoming a data-driven marketing professional. Companies can then track the progress on how their employees are doing against these skill development objectives at an aggregate level. Now, as you can see here, 64 learners are engaged in developing skills to become data-driven marketing professionals, and on average made about 52% progress. Now, as employees move through these courses, companies can also track at the specific skill proficiency level as well. So we've received tremendous positive response from companies as they continue to invest in transforming their talent with the most relevant skills for their organizations. We're looking forward to continuing employers to help plan, develop, and hire their talent. Now, I got one more thing before we're done, at least from a product plenary standpoint. So right now, the coronavirus pandemic is forcing a global experimentation with remote teaching. Thousands of instructors are using Zoom to deliver teaching to millions of students worldwide. Now, what you're creating is an amazing resource that we would like to help turn it into a long-term digital asset. So today, we're announcing Live to Coursera. Turn your live Zoom lecture videos into a private course instantaneously on Coursera. So you can just start by pointing to your Zoom lecture recordings using our cloud import feature that Ken talked about earlier. We'll create a private course instantaneously. Now the videos will get added automatically to your course. And as you keep teaching, more videos will get added to the course. Now the course author will have complete control to review and edit before they're published to the students. So we're looking forward to making it available soon. So thank you for joining us today. As we continue to respond and adapt our platform to the emerging needs of learners, educators, and employers, we really look forward to your continued support and collaboration as we all figure out the online must of digital transformation of higher education. I'm going to leave you with some learner stories that are a source of inspiration for us every day.
The first courses I came across was the creative writing specialization offered from Wesleyan University. I'm a published author. That never would have happened without Coursera. And this month, I'm publishing a short story anthology with 3 other learners. Our lives are changing because of the courses we've taken on Coursera and because we met.
I'm really excited to see that there is a really strong community on Slack and online, maybe even stronger than some of us experienced in our first degree programs on campus. I'm just really grateful to have had the opportunity to do this master's program online. It would never have been possible for me, and I would have had to make a huge change in my life, and I know that's true for almost all of my classmates.
And it's always been a dream of mine to do a graduate degree at an elite school. So the ability to participate in a program delivered by, I think, one of the best schools on the planet and do it while I raise my child and continue to work in Toronto was a dream come true.
So I've become a better boss, a better collaborator, a better inspirer of my teams worldwide. So it has given me things over and above what I had expected.
Where our entire IT team kind of sat down and they said that what are the skills that each member of my team requires and how as a team we are going to complement each other. And as the entire team, they picked up a suite of courses from the Coursera platform and they got certified. And today they say that the team performance has gone up dramatically.
I've been working in food service like Starbucks as a supervisor for about 5 years. And it's kind of difficult going from someone with that kind of management experience in food service, trying to break into an office. In taking the certification, it gave me an openings and helped me break into more technical roles and lead food service, which was amazing. My life has gotten exponentially better since finishing the certification for sure.
I was 11 when I was diagnosed with a degenerative eye disorder which left me blind by the time I turned 15. And I got introduced to Coursera because they were using material from the University of Michigan course by Dr. Chow. My manager looked at my resume and she said like, okay, so you must get on a data science project. I believe that all learners should keep exploring different depth and breadth of courses that Coursera provides. Wherever you are, you can just keep learning.